Okay guys, before we get started with the tutorial, go to the main camera and click on this where it says near, put it to 0.01, otherwise your gun will look pretty horrendous. It will just, you'll be able to look inside of it. Alright, so now I'll leave you all with the video. Hello guys, welcome back to the channel, I'm Thunder, and today we're going to be working on the weapon system. But first I want to show you guys a couple of things. As you can see, I added the water and I added some rocks around the map. Again, this is all visual. If you want to use these rocks, just look on the asset store, go to the asset store and search up rocks and boulders and you'll find it. It's totally free and you can use it. And in order to import that, all you have to do is window, package manager. Just wait for it to load. And over here where it says my assets, make sure if it says you're in registry or in project, just go to where it says my assets and select it. And then over here, once you've downloaded it, once you've gotten it on the asset store, of course, just do rocks and boulders. Okay, rocks and boulders, and you can see it right here. All you have to do is download it and then hit import, and that should be it. And then just place it around the map, rotate it, and resize it, all of that. That's basically a way for it to not notice that it's actually the same model, just repeated and resized. Just rotate it around like that and it should be good. And now the water, I will show you how to do it. Let me just deactivate this one. So this is what you should have. So next, go to your search bar and search up water 4. And this one right here, water 4 advanced, just drag it in and just put it about the level you want it. I'm gonna put it about there. Okay, just gonna bring it down a little and then resize it so that it fits on the whole island. Now you will notice an issue with this, and is that the waves are going all over the island. In order to fix this, go ahead and resize it, but on the y-axis. Just make it smaller on the y-axis and you'll see how the waves settle. That's it, you got your water working right there. I'm going to go ahead and delete it just because of the fact that I already have one set up. I do have some things deactivated down here just because of performance issues that I have. Just keep in mind that if you have a decent computer from 2 or 3 years ago, you should be fine, or 4 years ago, you should be pretty much fine. So that's pretty much all I did of camera. And also I did a couple of more things, which were the the weapon animations, which I'm gonna show you in a moment. So this right here is the M4. This is the draw animation. Let me just resize this. There it goes. Okay, I don't know why the hands cannot be seen. What the hell? Okay, I see what's going on. Give me just 1 second, I'll fix it in a moment. And I'll show you how to do all of this. Okay, yeah, there's a slight issue. I accidentally assigned the wrong ones. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and hit play. Okay, yeah, that's what's going on. I assigned the wrong animations. I'm going to show you how to do all of this in a moment. Don't worry about it. Just want to show you all the animations so that you can see them. Right, so this should be it. Yep, there it goes. That's the drawing animation. It's a simple animation, but just keep in mind this is a tutorial series. I don't really feel like just putting 3 or 4 hours into an animation, which I already put it like 6 hours into just making these animations for the 3 guns. I put it like 5 to 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours maybe. So this is the idle. I didn't add any movement because that's going to mess our aiming. So just keep that in mind if you want to modify them. Then here's the reload. There's no sounds as of right now. If I end up making some sounds before uploading this video, I will post them in the description, but I don't know if I'll make them. And this is the reloading. Then there is running, which is basically a basic running loop. And then there's the shooting, which we're going to play all of these animations through our code and not actually just in here, so don't worry about it. Here's the pistol. So this is the draw animation. Then here's the idle again, just static because of the aiming. Then there's the reloading, and then running, and then we have shooting, which right now it looks weird, but just keep in mind it's being shot as an automatic weapon. Although I will make it a little bit longer though, because it will still look kind of weird. That looks better. Okay, and now there is the shotgun, which for this one I did not do any reloading, just because of the fact that it's a double barrel shotgun. It's the only one I could find for free, so I can provide them to you guys. So just I couldn't make them because it's a double barrel and it's really hard to make animations for this weapon. So here's the idle. Then here's reloading, which again, that's all I did for it. Then there's the running, and then there's the shooting. I'm also gonna make animations for melee weapons, but I'll do this one in here with you all, just to show you guys some sort of animation process and how you do it in Unity. Although my personal recommendation is, if you know Blender or anything like that, do them in there. That's the best advice I can give you. And now if you just imported the animations folder in, you're already going to have all of this and all of this stuff. But just in case you want to make your own animations, I'll show you how it works. So this is the animator controller. All you have to do is right click, create animator controller. Then do right click, create animation, and create 5 animations. One for drawing your weapon, so taking it out, another one for idle, another one for reloading, another one for running, and another one for shooting. Then double click in here, which you should already have this, what I'm showing you right now, but you're going to have to do some adjustments. So what we're going to do is right click on here and click on make transition and click on the idle state. Then over here, this basically means how smooth the transition is. I'm just going to drag it over all the way here and then drag this here. The reason is because this animation ends on the exact position that this one starts. So there's really no need for smoothing the transition. Okay, then if you click and hold, you can drag the states around. So I'm just going to leave this one right here. And all we really have to do is, first let's just organize everything. Let's do this, and then this one right here. So right click on shooting and make transition over here. Again, we're going to do the same thing because it ends on the same position that the idle end starts. But for running, we are going to make transition over here and then make another one from here back to this. And over here, make sure to leave this smoothing because this one goes straight into another position, so it will jump. So just leave it like that so it smoothly transitions. Also do this, go ahead and disable the has exit time on all of the transitions except for this one though, and this one. Those two don't do anything for them. And reloading, what we're gonna do is make transition idle and make transition back from here. Now, this one, the one that goes from idle to base to reloading, you can see the arrows which way it goes, so there shouldn't be any issue. Just click has exit time, just disable it, and then I'm going to go ahead and just make this an instant transition, as it's really not needed. And then this one, just leave it how it is. So that should be for our animator. This is basically how you work with animations in Unity. So now, next thing, just gonna show you how the animation system works. On the M4 or whichever gun you're creating, let's just do a new folder. Let's do it right here. So all you have to do is create, and instead of animator controller, just create an animator override controller. This is basically like a child of what we just created. Then right here, just click on this and select weapon dash base. And then all you have to do is add your animations to each field as the exact ones that go on each field. I'm gonna delete it because that's already done for all of this, and you should have all of this except for these changes that I mentioned before, which we just did here in camera. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and disable all of these weapons. And next we're gonna do one more thing. So inside of my camera, create 3 empty game objects. So I'm just gonna duplicate them and just name them. So this is gonna be the M4. This is gonna be the M9. Sorry guys. And this one right here is going to be the shotgun. So next thing, just drag each weapon. First of all, enable them all. Enable the 3 animators and drag each one to their corresponding game object. So M4 to M4, M9 animator to M9, and then shotgun animator to shotgun. So basically what this is, so this object is the one that's going to contain our script, but it cannot have any animator controller. The one below is the one that has the animator component, which again, just add component animator, and then you just drag the animator override you created right on here. So that should be it. Alright, so next thing, go ahead and disable them all, because now we're going to get into the coding aspects. So first, let's go to assets, and then we're going to go to our scripts folder. And I created this weapons folder before, but go ahead, you shouldn't have it, so go ahead and create the folder. And inside our weapons folder, we're going to go ahead and create a new C# script, which is going to be called weapon. Alright, so let's go ahead and open it up. I'm gonna pause the video because I'm opening Visual Studio, so it's gonna take a little bit. Alright guys, so once in here, okay, just give it a second. So basically the way it's gonna work, we're going to have a item data on each weapon class, and then it's going to refer to that from the slot that we used. So as always, go ahead and delete this. We're going to start by doing public item SO. It's not showing up because it's still loading, so just give it a second. Okay, maybe I should have done this before starting to record again. Okay, there it is. Item SO. I'm gonna do weapon data. Okay, finally. So we got the weapon data. Then we're going to do 2 things. First, as always, actually no. I'm gonna do a header. Okay, header, parentheses, and quotes. And I'm gonna call it aiming. And inside here, we're going to make 2 things. Well, actually 3. First, a public vector 3, and it's gonna be hip pause. So this is gonna be the position or weapons going to be at when we're not aiming. So then public vector 3, it's going to be called aim pause. So again, position when we're aiming. Pretty self-explanatory. And we're gonna do a public bool is aiming, and that's going to be false by default. Then over here on top, go ahead and do public animator anim, and then do a public slot equipped on. This is because, again, in this case we're going to be using our slot equipped on, basically this slot as our ammo. This slot's stack is going to be our ammo pretty much. So in the previous tutorials on the inventory system, we made sure that weapons wouldn't stack, so it works like that, and they actually swap. I believe I did show that with a hatchet with a stack of 1 and another hatchet with a stack of 2, that they would switch and not actually stack on top of the other. So having said that, let's go ahead and make a start function, and over here we're going to do anim equals get component in children, and it's going to be obviously of type animator. So let's go ahead and do this, and that's going to be it pretty much. Then we're going to do one thing to make sure that a bug doesn't happen. So transform that local position, because we're going to be using the local position for aiming, equals hip pause. So what this does is pretty much, so if you deactivate your weapon while aiming, it will still keep that position, and then it will appear again aiming. So we don't want that to happen. So next, let's do update. And first, we're going to check what weapon type is. So if weapon data dot item type equals item type so dot, in this case it's going to be weapon, which is going to be the first thing we actually code. So let's go ahead and just copy all of this, and then do else, paste it, and right here just put melee weapon. So now we're going to have to go to 2 more scripts. First, our inventory manager. Okay, and right over here do the following: serialize field private weapon, and make it an array weapons. So we're going to have to, basically, all of the weapons we have on our player, we're going to have to drag them here, because when we try to equip it, this slot will look through those weapons and then equip them, whichever matches with the slot data. So that's pretty much how this is going to work. Next, let's go back to weapon and add 2 functions below here. So we're going to do public void equip, and then public void equip. So public void equip. And what we're going to do is, basically, once the slot finds the weapon, it's going to execute this function, the equip function, and it will execute this one for all others. So over here we're going to do game object dot set active true, and again, this code right here, we are going to put it right on here, and then over here all we're going to do is game object dot set active false. So that's pretty much going to be it for it. Then next thing, let's go ahead and open up our item SO because we're going to need it. So go into your inventory folder and then item SO, and right here I'm going to add a new header. Again, on one of the later videos we'll make sure that we only show what goes to an item type, but for right now that's not a priority. So weapons prior. Okay, so then we're going to do a couple of things. First, public float damage. I'm just gonna make it equals to 20 by default, and then I'm gonna do public float range. So basically this is how far weapons can shoot. I'm gonna make it 200 meters by default. Then I believe is, yeah, we're going to need then public int mag size, which I'm going to make to 30 by default. So this is how many bullets our weapon can hold. And then I think we need a couple more. So damage range. Okay, yeah, we need public float fire rate. So how fast can our weapon shoot? I'm gonna make it by default to 0.1. So that's all we're going to need. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but if I am, we'll just come back and add it. So now let's go ahead and code the actual slot. So over here on the slot script, we're going to go to where we use it. Let me just find the function. Update slot. Okay, where the hell is that? Okay, down here. Okay, so right now we only have the consuming. So we're going to do if data dot item type equals this, or data dot item type equals dot melee weapon, which basically those are only two equipable item types. So first we're going to have to do a couple of things. So so let's go ahead and run a for, which is basically going to be to unequip our items. Okay, and I need to add this. If I is less than inventory dot weapons. Okay, actually we're going to need to make weapons public. So go ahead and delete all of this and make it public. Then let's go back to slot. Alright, so now it should show up. Yep, there it goes. Okay, just going to comment it out. This is going to be unequip all active weapons. Alright. Okay, and over here I forgot to add dot length. So go ahead and do that. Dot length. And then over here we're going to check if inventory dot weapons dot game object dot weapons dot game object dot enabled, or active self, I think it is now. Yeah, active self. Then we're going to go ahead and just simply execute unequip inventory dot weapons dot game object dot set active. Okay, not dot game object, sorry, dot unequip. Alright, so there we go. Then next thing we have to do is run a for, find our equipable weapon, and just equip it. So equip weapon. So what we're going to do here is again another for, int I equals 0 if I is less than inventory dot weapons dot length, then I plus plus. Okay, and in here we're going to, instead of check if it's active, we're going to check if inventory dot weapons Actually, yeah, that weapon data, dot weapons I dot weapon data equals data. Then you just execute the equip function, inventory dot weapons I dot equip. There we go. Actually, we're going to have to do one more thing. So in equip, just pass it this, because we're going to need that. So go back to weapon, and on equip, make a slot class, slot, and that's going to be the slot our weapons is equipped on. So over here, I'm going to do slot is equipped on equals slot. Alright, and then over here, one more thing, and that is slot equipped on equals null, because we don't want to keep that slot if it's not that one anymore. Alright, so next thing we're going to do, first I'm going to put this into a region, so just do hashtag region and then put the name. I'm just going to do fire weapon functions, and then just do hashtag and region. And over here we're going to do public void update aiming, update, okay, alright, update aiming. And we're going to execute this only if it's of type weapon, which is already a firearm by itself. So over here we're going to do a couple of things. First, we're going to check if our player is running. It's going to give us an error because we still don't have that, but let's go up ahead and do private player. Alright, and then on start, let's get the component just like always. So player equals get component in parent player, and then over here if is input dot get the mouse button, I think it is, no, get button, and we do fire one, which is our left click, sorry, fire one, and watch for the capitals. Also, I'm not sure if we should put spaces between the E and the 1, so we're going to have to test that out. If input dot get button fire one and is not player dot running, okay, and player dot is grounded dot cc, okay, actually we'll do dot get component character controller dot is grounded. Okay, so basically what we're saying is if we're not running and we're on the ground, we'll be able to aim. Which, I mean, that's the way I like doing it. If you don't like doing that, just remove this code right here and you'll be good. Okay, I gotta delete that last parenthesis. Alright, so down here, what we're going to do is pretty simple. Actually, go ahead and up here add one more thing on aiming. So do a public float aim speed. Shall put a default value of 10. That should be good. And over here we're going to do transform dot local position equals vector 3 dot slurp. And inside here we're going to put transform dot local position comma aim pause comma aim speed times time delta time, and we just close it. And we're going to add zooming in later. Right now I just want to focus on getting the basics in, so else just do the same code, but instead of aim pause, just use hit pause. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is, first of all, we're going to go back to not the weapon script, the slot script, because there's a couple of checks we need to run. So first, if data equals not actually that, sorry. So go ahead and delete that. And over here we're going to do, first we're going to check if weapon no inventory dot weapons I dot slot is equipped on. Okay, again, go back to weapon and make it, actually it is public, so okay, alright, that's why. So I dot slot is equipped on equals this equals this. Okay, sorry guys, it's kind of late. Move this down to the, okay, give me just 1 second. Okay guys, so right after we're done with this, we're going to go back to our slot class and we're going to run a couple more checks. So first we're going to do bool should just unequip. So basically it's going to be equals to false, but over here what we're going to do is if should just unequip return. So what is this? This is just to make sure that when, if, let's say we have our weapon equipped on slot 1 and we press slot 1, then it would unequip it but then equip it again. So we have to make sure that's not happening. So over here we're going to run one more check before unequipping it. So we're going to do if inventory.weapons I dot slot equipped on equals this should just unequip equals true. Alright, so that should do it. I'm going to go ahead and go into, okay, actually never mind. Go back in here and open your player script, which I'm just going to look through it in here. Okay, what is this? Alright, models, scripts, player. Alright, and we're going to actually go ahead and create a public bool. I'm just going to do it down here because this bool, I'm going to hide it on the inspector. Public bool is running. Actually, not just running. And over here on movement, what we're going to do is if left shift, right here, we're going to do is running. Okay, sorry, running equals true. Then down here, running equals false, and same thing down here. So running equals false, and that's pretty much it. So go back to Unity. Alright, so now we're going to do the following. Select your 3 weapons and do add component weapon. Then next, the animator, actually I'm gonna go back to the weapon code. This is not necessary, but just not to go crazy. And I'm going to hiding inspector. And same thing with the slot. Hiding inspector. Because we really don't need to do anything with those 2. So let's go back to Unity. Okay, gotta wait for it to compile. Alright, there we go. And over here I'm gonna add, actually never mind because I don't have any weapon data. But first let's go ahead and do something. Let's go ahead and set our aiming position. For this, what we're going to do, first of all, reactivate the canvas. I had it deactivated because of the animations, but I'm going to go ahead and deactivate the hub, not the hotbar, but all menus, and drag drop icon too, because I want to be able to see the center. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a UI image. I'm going to give it right under here the knob. So let me just find the actual knob item. Okay, you know what, let's just use UI reticle. Okay, where the hell is it? Over there. And I'm going to go ahead and scale it down, just enough that I can tell the center of the screen. And then just select your M4, and first of all, go into animation, select M4 animator, and just go into idle, and move it around. Then, this is very important because otherwise you'll lose the animation point. So go to project, and then select M4. So now just all you have to do is, first of all, check your hip position. If this is your hip position, 0, 0, 0, just leave it how it is because that's the default value. And then just gotta move it right where you want it. And go ahead and do it like that. I'm going to zoom in also because I want to make sure that it's lined up correctly. Okay. So if you want a more precise movement, you can just add through here. So as you can see, 6 then. Okay, let's try 5. 5 looks great. Over here I'm gonna do 6. Let's do 6, 8, 6, 9. And you see, there you go, vertical center. And then just copy X over to the X aiming, Y to Y aiming, and I'm going to move it a little bit backwards, like that. So that will be okay there, to Z. Alright, then go ahead and just disable it. And then again, M9, same thing. But again, go into animations, select the animator, go to idle, and then move it a little. Then go to project and then select M9 and just go ahead and move it around. Okay, so that feels pretty good. Okay, alright, come on. 6, 8. 4, 8 was it? Yep, there we go. And I'm gonna move it a little bit back, just a little, and then just copy the values and just do the same thing for the shotgun, which I think you will have some issues with the shotgun, so you might have to rotate it a little. I didn't think of that when I was doing the animations. Okay, same thing, just go into shotgun animator, idle, and then project and shotgun. Okay, right there, a little bit more, and then yeah, that's what I meant. So go ahead and do the following, just rotate it upwards like that. Yeah, so that's gonna be pretty much our aiming point. This is going to stay even when you're not aiming, the rotation, so it's gonna look a little bit different. Okay, so Control C, Control V, Control C, Control V. Alright, and then just do the following, go into deactivate shotgun, then select all of them and put them back to 0, just in the position. And that should be it. Now we're going to go ahead and create our actual items. So go into here, I'm going to go ahead and create survival game, inventory, new item. And it's going to be M4. I'm going to just name it M4. Okay, we don't really need this, so if you want to keep the image as a crosshair, you can do that if you want. I'm not gonna do it because this is a survival game. So on M4, I'm just gonna give it a automatic assault rifle. I'm gonna give it a max stack of 30, and just like the max size, keep that in mind. And then range, yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that, but I'm gonna change this to 40 damage per shot. That feels like a pretty good value, and 0.1 should be good. There's no shooting right now, so just remember that. All we're doing is just testing that it works. This video is only gonna cover equipping. And here's the LR icon from Rust. Alright, so I'm just gonna go ahead and test it with the M4. Actually, we're gonna have to create data for all of them, so go ahead and do that, because else it will give you an error. So inventory, new item. This is gonna be the M9. And we did forget to add one thing, which we'll do in a moment. Weapon, M9, M9. Okay, pistol. Yeah, there we go, pistol. And over here we're going to do a semi-automatic pistol. Automatic pistol. And I'm gonna make it so it has 10 bullets per magazine, so stack of 10, max size of 10. And then over here I'm just gonna do it 0.2. 0.12, sorry. And then that should be it. I'm gonna lower this to 100 meters. And the damage at 20 looks good. Now, again, shotgun, but for shotgun, actually, you know what? Forget about the shotgun. We'll just use M4 and M9 for now. So I'll go ahead and drag their data to the weapon data. And then we're going to, first of all, reactivate all menus and drag and drop icon. And on all menus, we're going to go ahead and lock the inspector, and we're going to select both of these, and we're going to drag it into weapons. So we already have our weapons registered. Don't drag the shotgun, because we have to do more code, which we'll do on next tutorial, so don't worry about it. And then go ahead and save it, and let's go ahead and test it out. Actually, no, first go ahead, and I'm gonna go ahead and do a drop back with a stack size of 30, I guess. Just unlock your editor, pick up 30, and it's going to be M4. There we go. So M4, I'm gonna save it, and let's go ahead and hit play. Just wait for it to load. Okay. Okay, so there we go. Alright, well, it seems like I forgot to do a little detail. So go back to your slot script, and if weapon data equals data, then weapon data equipped is. If slot is equipped on equals this, inventory. Okay, let me check the console. That shouldn't be happening unless they both have the, yeah, of course, if they both have the M4. Alright, so let's go back to it. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and pause it, and I'm going to add another drop back, which is going to be the M9. So let's put this right here, but the data is going to be the M9. So let's go ahead and pick both of them up and equip them. Right here is the M4, right here is the M9. And if we do that, it gets unequipped. But just to test another instance where a bug might happen, I'm going to go ahead and add another drop back, because I believe we did took the right measures to prevent that bug, but again, everything has to be tested. It's gonna give it a stack size of 1. Okay, also I did left click, so we're going to have to change that to, so if we do 3, we don't, okay, there we go. Also, we're going to remove the shadows in a bit. So first thing, we're going to go ahead to weapon, and over here where we do grounded, forget about that. The character controller grounded function is pretty unstable, it just flickers a lot. so it doesn't work, so just remove it, and over here do 2, fire 2. So let's go ahead and try it out now. We're going to be adding zooming on next tutorial, don't worry about it. But this is just getting the weapon equipping system, and then next tutorial is just coding the weapon functions, running checks, and that's all. Otherwise the video would have been too long. So right now if I hold right click, alright, there we go, we aimed. Now there's no running animation playing or anything. Again, we'll do all of that on the next video. And I'm also, right after we finish the weapon system, I'm also gonna do a video on how to make better graphics, because right now, let's be honest, the graphics, they're not the best. So we're going to be adding an actual skybox where there's clouds and it looks all nice. We'll be doing better graphics like visual effects. We're gonna be adding bloom, depth of field, all of that stuff. But just keep this in mind, this is only for the 3D template, not the URP or HDRP templates. Those work on a different way, although it's kind of similar. You can just look it up on YouTube and you'll find a tutorial on how to do it for URP or HDRP. But that's pretty much all there is for this. This is gonna be all for the tutorial. Again, as you can see, you have weapon equipping already, so it's all good. And again, I'll provide you all the animations and models. All you have to do is drag it in. So basically just drag it into here. You know, I'm gonna leave you guys these 3 prefabs. Just drag them into main camera and then just set them all to 0 and give them the aim position. And if you want, you can go ahead and give it the same I gave on the video. And for the, just remember, for the shotgun, do this rotation if you're going for the same aiming position as me. And just copy these values down here. So that's gonna be it for this video, guys. I hope you guys liked the video. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. It always helps a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next one.